There it goes.
There it goes. All right, y'all. Welcome to the. So this is just a bonus episode of the Hospitality Strategy Lab. I'm here with Sean Finter, and for the second year in a row, he's doing this this masterclass on how to engage with your guests when everybody is losing their mind for the holidays. If you haven't heard of Sean Finter, he's a world-class bar and restaurant coach. He's been doing this for at least 120 years, maybe closer to 26. Not really.
Yeah, it looks like.
But Sean's doing a webinar tomorrow on how to on a couple hospitality hacks for how to get through the holiday season over the next 6 weeks. If you're interested, we'd love to see you tomorrow at 1:00 Eastern time. It's sign up at seanfinter.com. Sean, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. 120 years in the business, so I look good for my age, I guess. But
you look fantastic.
Yeah.
So this is the second year in a row. What happened the first year?
Well, I started doing this almost selfishly for myself. I hate going out in December. I hate going out, standing in long lines when you have a reservation, you get there, everyone apologizes that it's so busy. And I think, man, don't these people have calendars? It's busy every December. You could be a terribly run restaurant and hopefully you'll be busy in December. The thing is, are you busy in January, February, right? And you should be. If you had hundreds or thousands of new guests, those guests should be eager to come back and see you if you did a great job in December. They should be in to see you in January, February. So last year we did this. Might have been the most popular thing we did all year. We got a lot of great feedback and folks asked us to do it again. It's kind of my top 10 for, not only building business into January, February, but really capitalizing on what goes down in the month of December.
So people cite all kinds of reasons for drop off in January and February, like New Year's resolutions, like all this other stuff. Like why is it that bars slow down, and what can they do about it?
Well, who doesn't cite the drop off in January and February to that degree are the people that crush it in December, right? Like if you are building clientele, the way I see the industry is that you've got 6 weeks that can be a springboard for the next year and more for your business, right? Like, are you putting on your best product? And in December, you don't even have to put your whole product on, right? If you can only do 80% of your bar menu, 80% of your food menu at a level of excellence during peak hours, then do that. Do you have enough people on, right? We're going to talk about different strategies for HR. Even this late in the game, I'm going to show you how to kind of make up for it and make sure you do have enough hands. You want to look at the flow of traffic. You want to look at how you're doing your bookings. You want to look at how you're getting people to come back. If you don't have an active strategy for that and how to get people to come back and see you in January, February, they're probably not going to do that. So, I mean,
what's an example of an actionable strategy that somebody could get that can take away just after tomorrow's session?
Yeah, well, so if we're talking about the marketing aspect of your business, if you do not have an extra pair of hands at your host stand in the month of December, strictly to build your database and to build rapport and give people a really good reason to come and see you in the quietest or a couple of quietest months of the year, then you've lost out, right? For the price of a couple $100 or even $1,000 a week, you could build tens of thousands of dollars worth of business and build lifelong customers, but you need to have a strategy to do that. And we're going to show you exactly how to do that.
One of the things that I thought was, so I signed up at seanfinter.com and registered for the webinar for tomorrow, and I immediately got a gift, and it said 8 strategies. And one of the things that that was really interesting to me was the day maker thing. Can you talk about that for just a minute?
Yeah. So, I used to run my own restaurants, and we decided that we'd put together a small budget to, just make people's day randomly, not for everybody all the time, but where we saw that opportunity to take a shot. Sometimes when we felt we had let a table down a little bit or not lived up to, the hype that we'd set for ourselves. And other times it was just a perfect, beautiful moment to do something special for someone. And that little budget turned into a position for us where, we had somebody on staff. Now they had another role. They were doing something else, either a host or a server, but they had dedicated time in their shift in order to look for opportunities to make somebody's day. And I tell you, if you do that 3 to 5 times a shift and sometimes 10 times a shift, think about that snowball effect over the course of 6 or 7 days trading. It just turns into something really wonderful and special. It's low cost and extremely high impact for your business.
Who would you say that this webinar is for tomorrow? Right?
It's certainly for anyone who has a vested interest in a bar or restaurant, general managers, AGMs, but there are going to be strategies there. Many of the strategies there that a bartender or a server, but it's certainly being in a management position where you can organize. And I realize there's very little time, and we could have done this in September. No one would have done anything with it until now, anyways. So we're going to do things that are quick start. Low cost, and in some cases no cost, but will have a big impact on your business.
I mean, can you talk about some of the successes that some of your other clients have had using some of these strategies? Are they like year over year?
Yeah, we have clients that have built a bigger database in December than they have the rest of the year, right? And not all things are equal in your database either. At this time of year, you have people that are coming in booking functions. And a lot of these folks book functions all year long. They're executive assistants, they're, the marketing coordinator for companies. So getting to know those people and building a relationship and maybe getting 4 or 5 or 6 more of those relationships would be a big deal. Making sure that you're building a smart database as well, like know who can walk to your bar or restaurant, right? That's really important. So when you're broadcasting out, later on, you can talk to people that are in your area. You can talk to people that are in your city. You can talk to people that are marketing coordinators and so on and so forth. So I think building the database is a big part of that. I think getting your head around the fact that this is your time to audition, to turn drop-ins into regular customers, right? Like the fact is most restaurants do the exact opposite. I went out last night, very disappointing. I went out in my community here. I live in Maryland. It wasn't that busy. We're not even into the season yet, but I just thought these people are going to get run over when you put another 50, 75 people in the restaurant. And I think it's just time to get that mindset of game time, like a coach, to say that we're going to have this 6-week period that can make or break us. And we're going to help you get ready for that.
Can you talk a little bit about peak hours and how that impacts the business, generally speaking?
Yeah. So, peak hours are definitely extended during the holiday season, but typically a bar or restaurant does 80% of its business and 20% of its hours of operation. And so what that means to a typical bar or restaurant is about 12 to 16 hours a week is when you make most of your money. It's when you got to be sharp, ready to go, and look to optimize. Now, during the holidays, that can blow out to 24 hours over the course of a week, right? That's like, big 4, 5, 6 hour blocks that you're heaving and turning those tables over and the bar's full. The average client that I work with in normal times, we take those peak hours. And if you think about, like a revenue ceiling, that no matter how many, it doesn't matter if the bar is 2 deep or 22 deep, right? Bartenders can only put out so much. The kitchen can only put out so much. But here's what we found. If you follow a step-by-step process that I have, and I'm going to give you kind of a cut-down version of this tomorrow, you can raise that revenue ceiling by 20%, right? So whatever your max was before, we have all these tweaks that take it up another 20%. For the average business, assuming that it was profitable beforehand, can double profitability just with those moves, right? So we're going to give you 10 different strategies over the course of 2 weeks. And I'm really hopeful that it not only jacks up your profit, but that it makes a tremendous impression on your guests so they'll come back next year.
All right. That sounds like that's mathy, and mathy is never wrong.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I hear that people are skeptical of AI and automation when they're running their operations, especially when it comes to things like collecting data, marketing, and remarketing, and staying top of mind. What would you say to somebody who's kind of reluctant to get involved in that whole business?
I'm old enough now at 51 years old to remember the internet coming in, and you had time to decide when you were going to get involved. You knew you had to get involved. I don't think restaurants have much time to decide. You will be, you're leaving a extremely low cost, high impact tool up to your competitors that you're choosing to ignore. There are so many things that you can do with AI now, even from crafting your menu and using language that works and pops, through to utilizing your database, through to thinking through your numbers for your business. That's another reason why Jason's going to be here with us to talk about some of the strategies to take advantage of that. And let me say, I don't think there's many skeptics anymore. Like if you've talked to anyone that's using it, you know it works. But for those that have been reluctant to use it because they're not very technical, it is so easy to use. There's certain aspects of it that's so easy to use. And those are the ones that we want to introduce to you guys that are easy to get started with and that are going to make a big impact on your business.
All right. Well, that's all I got for you. I know that your time is limited. Oops, hitting the wrong button here. But
oh, looks like he came in and out again. Looks like Jason kicked himself out of his own call. Well, I'll wrap up on his behalf unless he comes back in time. We're going to be on at 1:00 Eastern tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and then 1:00 Eastern next Wednesday. There he is. He's back.
Yeah, you nailed it. That was my big close. I was going to say, I'll see you all tomorrow at 1:00 Eastern time. Head to SeanFinter.com to register. And once you register, you get a free gift right away. And then we'll see you tomorrow at 1:00 where we'll walk you through some of this stuff. Sean, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.
Right. Bye, all.
We got it?
We got it. So we should